rolling. This
All right.
is the Unplugging podcast. This is episode, my goodness, I think it's 9 now. Wow,
So 9, nice.
that's crazy. Yeah, I guess I heard something that apparently a lot of podcasts, a lot of them don't make it past so they make one episode and then, nothing after. But I've heard the real breaking point is 10 episodes. So if you make it past 10, if you make it to 10, you're going to keep going. But so we're almost there.
Almost there.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to say thanks, Cole, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, honestly, from the interactions we have, at farmers markets and whatnot, I've liked everything about you. You seem really interesting, and every time I've pried a little bit more, I feel like I find cool information out about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get you on and just talk to you and kind of see what's up. So the first thing that really struck me was your fermentation, because that's something that I've been getting into recently. And I feel like you're obviously way ahead of me, because you said you've been doing it, 14 years or something like that?
Yeah, close to 14.
Close to 14?
Yeah.
Okay, so you started 2012, 2013?
Around there when I was 19.
Dang. So what got you to start fermenting, and what did you start with?
Started with sauerkraut.
Okay.
Yeah, just basic kraut. Cabbage with salt. How I got into it was I had bad acne during my teens. So I was looking for solutions to help clear that up.
Okay. And then how did you stumble across sauerkraut in this journey?
So I was doing a lot of research online and came across a blog. It was a website called The Love Vitamin.
Love Vitamin.
Yeah, it was this girl. I believe her name's Tracy. So she was all about clearing your skin holistically. And yeah, that was pretty much, I got a whole bunch of information off that website and started going on a health journey with that.
Okay. So I'm curious what you're talking about. She had a holistic approach to, what was it? Skin? Clearing up her skin?
Clearing up skin, yeah, mainly.
Has that, I'm curious, have you applied that to any other things in your life? Like, is that the only thing that you view as you take a holistic approach to, or is there anything else?
As far as food or?
Yeah. Food, health, anything like that.
I try to take a holistic approach to everything that I can. Nutrition, exercise, work, relationships. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess maybe we'll dig into this a little bit more. What exactly do you mean by holistic then?
A broad scope.
Okay.
A broad scope approach, sort of panning out, zooming out, and sort of seeing things in a holistic way.
Okay, because I'm trying to think. Usually when I think of people that are holistic, maybe I'm just confused on the term or whatnot, but to me, I kind of associate that with like Eastern medicine or philosophy. Is that
similar? Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing, actually. I mean, it's just looking at everything as a whole rather than individual parts.
So how do you apply that to your life as far as all of those things that you mentioned, like relationships, health, fitness? How exactly do you bring this approach to all of those?
Let's see. How do I approach it?
Let's start with maybe diet.
Yeah.
What's your take on diet and food, and what kind of role does that have in your life?
Well, diet's pretty much the foundation for me. If you're not healthy, then you're not really happy, or you can't really contribute to your family or society, right?
Yeah.
Kind of become a burden. So how I might approach health. Well, it starts with whole foods, right? And then maybe try and ask another question about it to try and
Yeah, I
open
get
it up.
okay. I get what you're saying. What's your diet like? How about that?
What is my diet like? Well, let's see. I eat a high-fat diet, high-fat, high-protein,
Okay.
moderate carbs.
Okay. Do you have any type of breakdown of like percentages? What does that mean exactly? I'm guessing you probably don't count
it's
calories.
It's more intuitive eating and sort of
I like that.
specific food groups to kind of just accommodate nutritional needs.
Okay.
So I'll eat, for meat, mostly red meat, seafood, occasionally chicken, pork, depending on the sourcing.
True.
Eggs for sure. I have my own backyard chickens.
Oh, you did tell me that. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I like to do raw dairy as well. It's a huge component to my diet.
Okay.
I do the fermented foods. I do sauerkraut, the kefir, however you like to pronounce it. And then I also do kombucha. Started doing a new one, the June. And then,
wait, what's that? I'm not too familiar with kombucha.
so that is a kombucha that is adapted to green tea and raw honey instead of black tea and cane sugar.
Wait, I like that. I like the sound of that. That's why I've never really gotten into kombucha because they all have added sugar in them.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. So you can just use honey instead.
Right. Yeah.
That's good to know. Hey, when's the next batch ready?
Probably 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just start this?
Yeah, I started last week. Well,
Okay.
I started a big batch, so it's about 5 gallons.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I remember you were telling me the sauerkraut you said you make in like 5-gallon jugs too.
Another 5-gallon jar, yeah.
Damn. Okay. How long does that take you to shred that cabbage?
Well, the cabbage, to shred it, the cabbage alone, it's not too long. It's about 2 hours to get them all prepped and shredded.
Damn.
But the whole process is about around 10 hours in the kitchen. Yeah.
That's why I buy sauerkraut from you.
But I could do about 10 gallons with that time.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you sell them in, what are they, pint or quart?
So I do a half pint and then a pint.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you need a lot, you could also do a quart.
Okay. Yeah. So a quart is what, 32 ounces?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the big mason jar, and then the small one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So something I just wanted to remembered I want to get back to. So how exactly did this clear up your skin?
Well, it starts with deficiencies in your system, in your body. It helps with, so it starts with probiotics. Fermented foods are really good for probiotics. A lot of bioavailable nutrients as well as, vitamins and minerals. But sort of the probiotics help alleviate some inflammation in the,
That's all good.
in the digestive tract.
Okay.
So let's see. Where do we start with that?
Wherever you want.
Digestive tract, yeah. As a teenager, most teenagers, they kind of don't know what's going on, and they kind of eat whatever they want and try and do whatever they want, right?
I sure did.
So, yeah, just a lot of problems in my teenage years caused some inflammation and deterioration, I'd say, in my digestive tract. So I started using foods to start healing the inside, and then that expressed itself on the outside.
So how did you get to the point where you realized that food could be the medicine or the healing, because I feel like a lot of times in our Western society, you know, if something like this were to happen, it's like, okay, just go to the doctor and they're going to give you a pill or a cream or whatever. Right. And I feel like, you know, as I've kind of gotten more into this, you know, holistic approach to health and fitness, I've just been realizing that I feel that Western medicine gets a lot of things wrong. I feel like we don't take into account a lot of things. You know, we like to think that we know everything and we have the answers, right. And there's so much more out there that we don't know. And that's kind of been my issue with Western medicine. And so, yeah, I fully believe that food is the medicine. So how did you get to that point where you realized that, especially as a teenager? I feel like that's a pretty big realization.
Yeah. Took a lot of research. It wasn't about until like 4 months into actually trying things that I sort of was seeing some noticeable changes.
Damn, 4 months. Wow.
Yeah. And that's a long time for a kid.
Hell yeah.
Especially just for anyone, really, just trying to apply something and experimenting with that, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a good amount of time. That's crazy you stuck with it for that long.
It requires some faith, I'd say.
Yeah, no kidding.
It wasn't until I'd say a year and a half that I actually saw results that I was happy with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was it gradual, or was it like big jumps?
It was gradual, but it kind of happens in waves. So like, I'd say for about 6 months to a year, it kind of, depending on how burdened your system is, as far as like toxins and accumulation, it kind of expresses itself in waves as your body's detoxifying.
Interesting.
Through your skin.
So it would kind of, can you explain that?
So like maybe it becomes tricky, right? So 1 month you're clear, your skin could look pretty clear and you'll feel pretty good about it. And then the next month it'll start purging or detoxifying, and it'll show up on your skin.
Interesting.
I mean, because that's really what most acne is. It's your body trying to deal with the burden. It's overburdened as far as toxins and hormonal dysfunction and whatnot. So it's not a defect. It's actually a beneficial thing.
Right.
And it just happens to show up on your face. So, and it might have to do with, everyone's looking in the mirror every day. So it might show up more for you to see.
And I'm sure we probably touching and things like that too maybe affect it as well.
Right.
Huh. That's so interesting. Shoot, I forgot what I was going to ask, but, yeah, I mean, that's really cool that you did that. So why did you want to start with sauerkraut? Because there's so many different options. For example, so my fermentation journey started with yogurt, and then I have ventured into just doing just a brine with vegetables. So I'll just a saltwater brine, just regular fermented vegetables. I haven't gotten into kimchi or sauerkraut because of how labor intensive it is, for me personally, just because I have so much going on. Yeah. So that's why I'm so curious. Why'd you start there? I feel like there's so many easier ways. Like that's an interesting one.
Well, that was the first thing that was recommended through the blog I visited. For me personally, I have found it to be the easiest to ferment.
Really?
Yeah. I've also done beet kvass as well. That was probably my second one that I started. I've noticed that it typically, because beets are so sweet, they kind of tend to grow yeast on top of the brine. It's a pretty easy one though. I'd recommend it. It's pretty good for you.
Kvass?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. What is that?
It's just beets chopped up, coarse chop, with a salt brine, like you were talking about.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, and you can, takes about a week to make, to ferment.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look into that one.
Yeah, it's really good for the liver.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, you just reminded me. I built this cat track around
it's pretty neat.
my room. Yeah. Yeah. So anyone, if you're hearing weird noises, it's my cats running around going crazy because they have a playground here. So something I recently heard is that apparently, something that's really good for removing microplastics from your body is fermented foods.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that wasn't the reason that I got into it, but now I'm really glad I've been getting into it because I know microplastics are just such a big thing right now. And just anything, I feel like anything we can do to help our hormones is needed because I don't know if you've heard, there's numbers and stats and things that go around, but it's something like our testosterone, like a 20-year-old man or something like that right now has lower testosterone than, his grandpa did way back when. And I'm sure I'm butchering that, but like, I believe it, So anything we can do to get those toxins and stuff out of our body and help our hormones, I feel like is such a good thing. So, with all these different fermented foods that you make, do you have any type of routine? Do you eat, this one at this time, or do you make sure to eat a certain amount every day, or what's that like?
Nowadays, since I've been doing it for so long, I kind of do it more intuitively. Like I don't say like, sometimes I'll skip a day or a few days or maybe even a week. But typically, what I like to do when I am eating them, I like to eat them with a meal or before or even after, because they do help. The acidity does help digestion alone.
Okay. So really, just eat them anytime. They're good.
Anytime, yeah. I mean, there's really no bad time to eat them.
Right.
The most optimal, if you want to optimize it, be before you eat.
Interesting.
Just because it starts the digestive process, and it kind of primes your digestion.
Okay. Have you ever done any type of fasting?
I have.
You have? How long have you done?
I've done a water fast for 3.5 days.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, because I've heard that fermented foods are one of the best things that you can eat, like to reintroduce your system back to food after a long fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have. I would agree with that. They do have a lot of good minerals for electrolyte balance. So even taking the juice while you're fasting would be a decent approach.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I know people will at the end when they have the brine, they'll do shots of the brine, and it's really good for your microbiome. But I hadn't thought about while you were fasting, because it's no calories, so it won't take you out of the fast either, right?
For the most part, I mean,
as long as you're not like chugging gallons of it.
It also depends on how you want to approach a fast, and sort of there's different types of fasts. So like I might do like a bone broth fast as well, and that'll help sort of help with your digestive tract as well as healing with all the good collagen from the bone broth.
Because it's not digesting solid food, huh?
Right.
Interesting.
So, there's just a whole bunch of different approaches to fasting, but typically it's less calories than what you're used to is quote unquote fasting.
Yeah. So what kind of fasts have you done then? I didn't even know there were different kinds. I hadn't thought about it. I've just only recently kind of been learning about it and experimenting.
Personally, I've only done water and bone broth.
Okay.
There's juice fasting. Do like, if you have a juicer, you do juice like that, a vegetable or fruit.
Interesting.
I've heard of watermelon fast.
Just eat watermelon?
Just eat watermelon,
Hell yeah.
Apple fast.
Interesting. Can I do a steak fast?
I mean, yeah, you can. That would be like the carnivore diet, right?
True.
Yeah.
Huh.
Steak's pretty good, though. I enjoy steak.
Dude, hell yeah. Well, okay, something else I'm kind of curious about too is what got you into chickens?
Chickens.
Yeah, because eventually I want to have my own property. I want to grow, as much food as I possibly can and have chickens. And I'm still debating on if I want my own livestock that is kind of like 24/7 care. And
Right.
at least right now, that doesn't sound great. Maybe later in my life when I'm more settled, maybe that'll be okay. But right now I'm like plants, plants are good for now, but eventually I would love some chickens. And yeah, so how did you get into that? Like how many chickens do you have?
Well, I have about 25 laying hens right now.
Damn.
And I got about 10 new ones that are coming up. They're about 3 to 4 months now. And then I also have like a little over 20 chicks that just hatched.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. So you've got a lot.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like, 5 or 10.
I actually got rid of 15 to another guy at the farmer's market.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How I got into it, my mother has always had chickens as far as I can remember. Like you were saying, like 5. And so she's had them on and off. So when I was 17 is when I kind of took over her flock as far as her 5. I was getting more interested in nutrition and stuff like that, and heard that eggs were really good. At first, I didn't. Well, at first I was approaching health in kind of a mainstream way, right? Because that's what you hear about. So you're like, oh, low fat, don't eat the yolk, egg whites.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
And so when I learned that the yolk's actually really good for you and eggs in general are just very healthy, I got more into keeping the chickens as far as like wanting to make sure they were living a healthy and happy life.
Like providing you with the best eggs too.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. A pet that you can get something from.
Right. Right.
As far as food.
Yeah.
So then I started getting more into like, I started ordering chicks and then started raising them myself. Then I started getting into breeding, and then I also was doing meat birds for a little while just to see how that was. One of the reasons why I don't eat chicken that much is because the breeds they use for industrial chickens, even the just for commercial production, it could be a company at the farmer's market, right? Farmer at the farmer's market. The breed they use, it grows so rapidly that they don't really want to keep it around too long. It reaches about like 5 pounds within, I want to say like 2.5 months.
Damn.
So, and its body doesn't quite keep up with the muscle growth. So it ends up having like leg problems. And the main problem is heart conditions and lung problems.
Damn, I did not think about any of this.
Yeah. So they get really, really big really fast. And it's not to do with like hormone injections or anything. It's just their metabolism.
Okay, you read my mind. I was wondering that. Okay.
And they're more prone to getting sick. So they're not really a sustainable or a sort of a self-sustaining bird. I like to raise like dual-purpose breeds that are more heritage-oriented, so they can kind of do their thing in their yard. So they're not. I don't have to baby them all the time. They're pretty.
What do you mean by dual purpose?
Dual purpose meaning they're for eggs and meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I had a feeling, but I wanted to make sure.
They lay a good amount of eggs, and then they're also grow to a good size for meat purposes.
Okay, because a girl I dated in high school, she had chickens, and yeah, her dad was telling me that he was telling me the opposite, that there's chickens, they're either egg chickens or meat chickens, and he was like, typically they're not the same. He said usually meat chickens don't produce eggs that are very good, and egg chickens don't make very good meat. So you can find some that are in the middle.
Yeah. As far as, I would say dual purpose breeds have better quality eggs because they lay less. So they have more nutrients to put into the eggs they do lay.
Interesting.
Like specific breeds that are good for eggs that lay a lot are great. They're typically more, one that comes to mind would be a leghorn chicken. They're a very light bird. They don't have a lot of meat on them.
Okay.
But they lay almost every day of the year.
Just pumping them out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a whole lot of different, Rhode Island Red would be like your standard breed for the brown eggs.
Okay.
They're pretty close to the leghorn as far as laying every day. They could also be used as a dual purpose breed. They kind of do selective breeding. So say like the Rhode Island Red, they can, on one side of the spectrum, it could be really good at laying eggs, or they could go on to the other side of the spectrum where it's a dual purpose.
And that's through breeding?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like, as far as like plants, you know how they can do selective breeding for size and
True.
flavor and all that.
True. Interesting. And so what kind of chickens do you have?
Well, they're kind of my own mutts now.
Oh, that's right. You said you've been breeding, huh?
Yeah. I don't do any specific breeding as far as like a specific breed. So they kind of just intermingle. But I have had, let's see, I've had Easter egg chickens. Have you heard of those? They're the ones that lay the blue and green eggs.
Oh, wait, I thought those were rabbits.
Yeah. So it's Easter egg, or is what they call them, or there's the sort of a subspecies or a different strain. It would be, I believe it's Americana.
Okay, I have heard of that one.
Araucana is another one.
Okay.
So those are more blue specific. The Easter eggs they can be blue or green.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just a different shade. So I have a few of those. Those are kind of the ones that are true breeds. I've also had I am Samani, which is it's an all black chicken. You might have seen that.
I feel like I've seen a picture. I didn't know the name. Yeah.
I've had a few of those. They're more of an expensive breed.
Really?
They're pretty rare in the United States. They're definitely more popular over the years, though.
What was the name again?
I am Samani.
I am Samani. That's all one word?
Yeah, I believe it's comes from Indonesia.
Interesting. Okay.
No, it's not one word. Sorry. I am Samani.
Okay. Wow. Do you know how that's spelled? I'm so curious.
I'm not even going to try right now.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah. I'm imagining like AYAM. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So those are really cool. So they're,
so far, those are the three breeds that you have?
No, those are the ones that I've had that are true breeds.
Gotcha.
So I've actually had to reestablish my flock over the years. I had I want to say like 8 years ago, I had a neighbor's dog come in my yard and almost wipe out all my chickens and ducks. I've also had ducks before.
You don't anymore, though?
No.
Okay. Okay.
So I had 3 hens left.
Damn.
And then I went and got a rooster from a customer.
Okay.
And so then I kind of repopulated with the 3 hens and the rooster.
Okay, nice.
And then I added a few others to the mix as chicks.
Yeah, so you said that was 8 years ago. Okay, so you've just been kind of building back from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of... 15 is a good flock. I don't really need 30 per se, you know. But this year I wanted to start sort of expanding my options as far as the different kind of gene expressions.
Okay.
So
you keep them separate? How does that work?
I don't. I keep them all together.
And then go ahead. I'm curious.
So I have one rooster now. I'm actually not supposed to have a rooster.
Really?
Now they've been building around my area, so they rezoned my area.
Oh shit!
So they sent a letter and saying that you're rezoned, so you can't have a rooster, and you can only have a set amount of birds.
Interesting. Why a rooster? Just because the breeding aspect?
They're pretty loud.
Well, yeah.
That's the main complaint as far as like in suburban areas.
Yeah,
Or
that makes
just
sense.
in town, yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like I hear a rooster every morning here. I feel like I've gotten used to it, so I don't notice it. But I want to say there's one every morning.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think I saw a horse trail.
Yes.
Yeah, so you guys might be sort of more farm and agriculture-esque area.
Yeah, I think we're right on the cusp. I think if you go a little bit west, it's more of that.
So you might not be zoned for it, but people are used to it.
Yeah. Have you gotten any complaints yet?
No.
Oh,
yeah. The roosters do get kind of annoying. It's interesting. There's neighbors that have other roosters as well.
Okay.
So in the dead of night, when everything's quiet, they'll actually I don't know what provokes them, but they start crowing. It could be like 10 p.m., could be 2 a.m. They'll start crowing and they could hear each other really well.
Oh no.
So they just go back and forth for could be 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh my God. Damn, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Huh. Yeah, really, really piss the neighbors off.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm curious, how often do your chickens lay eggs?
Could be a day or two. I usually get probably like 10 eggs to 12 eggs a day.
You said
with 25.
From 25.
Chickens, yeah.
Okay, because that makes sense why you have that many now. Because I was assuming that they were laying one every day.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense. You're getting 10 to a dozen eggs a day.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
It's a good amount, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so jealous. I want the space to do that, but it's hard in LA.
Yeah.
It's hard to find, enough space.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another good purpose for chickens is garbage disposals. They're really good for giving scraps and compost.
Compost especially, yeah. Ducks as well, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, ducks and I want to say maybe geese even too. Probably all good for that. So do you have a garden?
I have a small garden, yes.
Do you grow your own cabbage?
I don't.
Yeah, you'd have to be growing a lot.
I would, yeah. That's kind of the hang up for me.
Yeah.
So I just have to be doing a lot and require a lot of space.
Yeah. What do you grow?
Mostly herbs. I do tomatoes. I do peppers, like hot peppers.
Ooh.
Have you heard of sunchokes?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of, or Jerusalem artichoke is another name.
Okay, I have heard of that, yeah.
Yeah. That one's fun. That's another one I've just experimented with fermenting. Supposedly it's easier to digest after it's fermented.
Really?
Otherwise, it can cause some severe bloating and discomfort.
So that was because I've been doing some more research as I've gotten into fermentation, and one thing, because you mentioned that fermentation is really good at producing probiotics, but the Jerusalem artichoke, how I know that name is it's apparently a really good source of prebiotic fiber.
Prebiotic, yeah.
So you're saying when you ferment it, it actually brings that out even more?
Yes.
Interesting.
It sort of renders it to where it's more easily digested.
I'm going to have to look into that. Okay.
I believe it's the fiber is called inulin, is what it's kind of hard for some to digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, prebiotic. That's been a buzzword over the years. It's kind of just another word for fiber.
Right. It's just another type of fiber, right?
Yeah. What else do I grow? I got a few elderberry bushes. I got grapevines,
Ooh.
passion fruits.
Damn.
Few fruit trees. I got apricot, a lemon tree. There's a peach tree.
What the? Damn, you live on a farm?
It's a good size. It's like a quarter acre.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are using that space well then.
I try to. Yeah.
Are
it's a work
you
in progress?
Are you into? Have you heard of permaculture? I would assume you have.
Yeah.
Like regenerative.
Right. It's more to do with sort of like a more holistic approach, where a lot of perennials, a lot of things that you don't have to sort of replant as much.
Yeah, so kind of I have a buddy who is really into it, and he's kind of showed me his garden and stuff, and to my understanding it's supposed to be replicating nature but in a controlled environment. And yeah, I've heard I guess, if you do it right, you get a lot of companion plants that help each other. This one takes certain nutrients out of the ground, whereas this one puts certain nutrients into the ground that this one will need. So that's what I've heard is kind of like some of the methodology. And I guess if you do it right, it can require less water, less maintenance, and just less overall time. Is that anything that you practice or have looked into or even know anything about?
To some degree. Do I practice it? Not too much. It's might be more like a practical approach, as far as like you're saying, like a symbiotic relationship, as far as like, say, using more bushes or low growing plants around trees or something like that. Nothing too intricate though from me.
So I'm curious, how has your experience been with gardening? Because for me, it's been rough, probably for several reasons. One is just, these last, I'd say 2 years, I've been more aware of the presence of anxiety in my life and how it affects me and how I operate, and me just kind of being the anxious person that, I am. When I get started on something, I want to just like dive straight in and get to the end. And I'm realizing that's not what life is about. It's about the journey. It's about learning. I'm doing these things, for example, woodworking. Yeah. I got into woodworking because I enjoy it, not because I'm trying to pump out all these projects and do this stuff. So same with gardening. I'm learning that it's important to learn along the way, and things aren't going to go the way you expect or plan or anything. So when I first started, I went to the nursery and I just went crazy. I just bought herbs, I bought fruit or like vegetables, all kinds of things, and I just planted them everywhere. I tried planning it out a little bit, and I mean, pretty much everything died eventually, just through, lack of attention, or maybe not putting things in the right place or not planting them correctly. But also we have a real issue here. It's been a battle. The soil, I think particularly at this house, is very bad. It's very poor. It's clay. And then when it's dry, it feels like sand almost, or like crackly, hard, crunchy. And it feels like there's no in between. And this is my suspicion from the few times that I've been digging around here. All run into bricks, all run into pipes. Like I'm not talking about pipes in the ground carrying your water. I'm talking about pipes that they cut.
Yeah,
left. Trash, literal trash, concrete, bits of concrete in the ground. So I think our soil is very, very poor at this house. So that's been another battle. But so it's been a little bit discouraging for me. I'm getting back into it. I'm slowly getting a few plants, the ones that I can manage. and not overloading myself. But how's your experience been with gardening here in SoCal?
It's very sunny and hot during the summertime. My biggest problem has been planting in pots. So if the pot's too small, it just won't thrive because of mainly to do with the heat, as far as like it just gets too hot. So the roots kind of struggle, and then the plant struggles. But even if you overwater it and keep the soil watered, it still gets too hot. So for me, like trying to oversize the pots is a better solution.
Interesting.
Or making a good sized raised bed is good.
Okay.
But as far as trial and error, a lot to do with gardening. Definitely in the ground I've noticed is much better. It's much cooler. The heat's able to disperse. But yeah, I mean, I've done the same thing. I go to the nursery and get a whole bunch of different varieties of.
Everything just looks so good. I'm like, I'm gonna be all healthy, and I'm gonna eat so much, all this good food, and
yeah. And then most of the time, I don't end up eating it too much. It's just kind of just like a grow project. And
not a bad project.
No. Well, you get to see the stages and the end evolution of it. Right?
True.
But yeah, I've done the same thing where I'm really gung-ho about it, and then there'll be a span of like 4 days where I'm just like, I forget about watering it.
Yep.
And then a lot of them just don't come back.
Yeah, I know. I went to New York for a month last year, and in August, and I'm the only one around here that pays attention to plants.
Yeah.
So none of them got watered for a whole month. Yeah.
Whole month.
In August here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They're all gone. So that's why I have no plants.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's very. I feel like getting into woodworking and gardening has really changed how my brain works. I could imagine fermentation for you as well. Doing these 10-hour projects, trying to making some sauerkraut, like that takes a lot of attention and a lot of patience and a lot of what's the word, like sticking with it, like perseverance almost. Because I can imagine along the way you run into issues. And actually this brings me to something else that I've been thinking about. You brought up yeast earlier, and yes. I've done so I've made a couple hot sauces. So I just fermented like bell peppers, onion, garlic, jalapenos, other peppers, stuff like that. Just I think I did 3% brine, and I let it go for a little bit too long, and it started developing yeast in there. It looks like yellow, kind of almost like dust, right? Like whitish yellow dust in there. And maybe it's different for what you're doing. It might look different, but how do you prevent yeast? Because I would have thought the salt would have cured that, but I guess something can still grow in there. So
yeah, it doesn't mind the salt, unfortunately.
Right.
It's not inherently a bad thing. The main problem for me is it causes an off flavor.
Right.
But other than that, it's not harmful. As far as the yeast that I'm familiar with, I think it's the same.
Calm yeast, right? I think is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah.
One method that I've heard about with the beet kvass is that you can put a layer of olive oil on top. Because it floats above the water, so that creates a barrier for it to.
That's interesting.
It. Yeah,
that's cool. Okay,
that is the best solution that I have came across.
What about for your sauerkraut?
For sauerkraut, I'm working on that.
Really? Okay.
Most of the time, I don't have a problem with it. I recently had a batch that is dealing with it. I've done a few trials where I've tried to clean it out, but it just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the best remedy for that for me is to just jar it up before the yeast causes a off flavor.
Okay, so just get ahead of it, because I went through a period where I grew mushrooms, and in mushroom cultivation, sanitation is, of utmost importance.
Right.
And so it hearing about the calm yeast, it kind of got my brain going down this rabbit hole of like, do I need to start sanitizing all of my tools? But you know what I mean? I live in a house, we have a shit ton of cats, so it's really hard. And then I live with, my sister and brother-in-law, so there's a lot of people in and out of the kitchen, a lot of things being used and touched. I was kind of I was thinking down this path, and I was just thinking like, this sounds impossible to try to sanitize everything and clean it to try to do these, which in mushrooms, it was different for me because it's smaller things that you're working with versus in fermentation, you're using, larger jars, bigger spaces and stuff. So it's harder to keep all of that clean. So there's nothing special that you do before you start making your stuff.
No,
like preparing.
I mean, I try and clean everything really well. But I mean, the main principles of it is it's a pretty traditional method of preservation. So
true,
they didn't have whole lot of cleanliness back in the day when they figured this out.
True.
So I try and to just do the recipe as proper as it needs to be, and that typically gives the right conditions. As far as I make sure all the vegetables are clean from debris and all that. But typically with when you're doing a natural ferment, you're using the bacteria that's already present on the vegetables.
Right. So that's what I've heard. You don't want to scrub them or even wash them too much, because you might remove some of that, right?
I mean, I think it's pretty hard to get rid of them from cleaning, just your basic cleaning. So I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Interesting. Okay.
But as far as if it's been sprayed with pesticides or herbicides, then usually causes an off batch.
Yeah.
Poor quality.
Where do you typically get your produce from when you're making these?
I'll get it from the farmer's market for sure.
The one that I see you, or I guess I see you at too.
Yeah. I usually get most of it from Westlake.
Okay.
I actually get a lot of it from the produce vendor that I work for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Country Fresh Herbs is what the other
that's the one
that I work for. Yeah,
that's the one on Saturdays.
Saturdays, yeah.
Okay,
and then they're right next to me on Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I get the carrots, radish. I get their dill. What else do I get? That actually might be it from them.
Okay.
The cabbage I used to get from another vendor at the market. I've also used Underwood's farm. I actually have to find a new cabbage connection. Frecker Farms. Have you heard of them? They're a organic vendor. So I'll probably start getting cabbage from them.
Okay. So yeah, all like small kind of local stuff.
Small local farms.
Do you ever shop at grocery stores?
I do, but usually for like condiments or spices.
Okay.
Or just like certain select things.
Yeah, that's ever since I've moved down to SoCal, because before I lived here, I lived in Bakersfield. That's where I'm from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Bakersfield is actually really big in agriculture, so I wish I would have utilized farmers markets more when I was there. But ever since moving here, I just feel like the farmers markets, their produce is just like top tier, and it just makes me think like, why the hell would you go to a grocery store I don't know. That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, and their prices are pretty comparable, or if not, sometimes the farmers market can be cheaper than your local health food store.
Yeah.
Usually fresher, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And once you stop shopping at the grocery store, and then you need to pick something up one day that you forgot at the market or couldn't find, then you're like, oh, okay, this is why I go to the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's been my experience is like,
Yeah.
I'll go there. For example, I was out of town last weekend, so that's why I wasn't at the farmer's markets. And yeah, I'm just like, like this week I didn't have enough stuff, so I know I'm going to probably have to go today. So I try to stock up as much as I can, but yeah, I'm just like, that's the only time I pretty much use the grocery store is when I'm gone and I didn't have a chance to go to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
But the nice thing too, though, is I bet you if you looked hard enough, you could probably find one every single day.
Oh, yeah.
I think, because I've heard there's another one on Fridays somewhere in the canyons, I think.
Yeah, Topanga Canyon.
Yeah. And then I want to say there's one in Thousand Oaks at the mall.
There is, on Thursdays.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. We're already almost there. We just
Right.
need a couple more days. And then I don't know if you know this, Underwood, you can actually go there and they have a farm store
Yeah.
that you can just go to. Yeah.
Moore
So,
Park.
yeah. So it's like, why? Yeah. I don't know. Why would you go to a grocery store? I just feel like the produce it's not local. It's lesser quality. And like, for example, tomatoes, aren't they usually ripened on the vine, like in the truck as they're driving it from one place to the grocery store?
If you're lucky, yeah.
Wait, what do you, like it actually ripened, you mean?
Well, they actually use, there's a ripening technique they use. It's a gas technique.
Really?
For tomatoes, yeah. I don't know how often they do that, but
Wait, what is this technique? I need to learn about this.
it's been a long time since I've learned about it. But basically, they'll pick them when they're not ripe, and they'll ripen them with a gas.
Interesting. So they just put them all in a room and just fill the room with gas, or what?
I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know.
Oh, interesting. And
But like you're saying, like even the vine ripened ones are actually really good at the store. Better than say like the ones without the vine.
True.
But they usually don't have a lot of flavor, just in general at the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they also don't have as much nutrients as many nutrients as well. I feel.
Probably. I mean, I kind of go off the flavor with that. If it has a more complex flavor, it probably has more complex nutrients.
Yeah. So this gets me thinking about just kind of even just commercial grows and stuff, because what got me into gardening was it was a movie that I watched. I don't even know. It must have been during COVID or something. I think it was called Kiss the Ground, and it's a documentary, and they talked about the farming in America and just how the topsoil is slowly being eroded. All of the microbes and everything are being killed by pesticides and all of that stuff. I'm curious, do you think the stuff we're getting at the farmer's market is clean in that way, or do you think they're still kind of, because I notice a lot of them, they don't explicitly say organic.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of vendors are pretty good about it, as far as like the ones that do say organic, or the ones that do at least say they grow organically. I'd say they usually do regenerative practices. I'd say if you don't get a straight answer from them, then they might. There's some produce vendors that might even be buying wholesale and reselling.
Oh my! I did not think of that.
Yeah. So it's important to get to know who you're dealing with and what the farm's all about that you're buying from.
True. Yeah, there's one in particular, now that you say that, I don't want to like out anyone or
Right.
anything, but there's one. They sell yogurt at the Westlake.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm suspicious of you. I say that every time because okay. He tells you that there's no sugar, and if you look in the ingredients, there's no sugar in there. But
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've also bought yogurt from them and other vendors, and yes, I've noticed that a different vendor has told me that they don't use sugar. Now, you've made your own yogurt. I've made my yogurt as well. We know what it tastes like without sugar added, right?
Right.
We know when it's added.
Yeah, you can tell when there's sugar.
It's much different. It's much more pleasurable. It might leave a film on your teeth. Yeah. So I think there's loopholes with yogurt in particular, just with the fermenting process.
Right, because it needs something to feed off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, well, it might not need it, but it's allowed.
Yeah.
So they might just do a lower, less time ferment, right?
Okay.
I know they do that with kombucha in the stores. They'll do like a lesser ferment. So they'll be like in the kombucha. There's white sugar, right? So they'll, instead of doing like kombucha, it's typically a month process. Is a pretty good amount of time, and then there's still a good amount of sugar present. It'll be pretty acidic, but in the store, I'm not too sure. I can't remember how long, but let's say like a week to 2 weeks, and it'll still be very sugary.
That's how long they ferment it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's more shelf stable that way.
Right.
If it ferments too long, then the bottles can be a bit more unstable.
Like you're saying they could explode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be the same thing with a yogurt. And with like prepared foods and stuff like that, they're a little bit less they're not as, I guess, stringent maybe.
Really?
With where it comes from. It's just more about like health.
Wait, can you explain that? What do you mean?
As in like the sourcing. They're not really particular with the sourcing. They're more about the health codes and everything. Making sure that there's no problems with
like health risks.
Health risk. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The farmers have more regulations to deal with as far as the agricultural side of things. Like they can only sell what they grow. But with the prepared foods, they can get their ingredients wherever they want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's even for selling at the farmer's market?
Yeah.
Really? So it seems like there's kind of a low barrier to entry then, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like yogurt, it could be the milk can be any quality that they want to get.
Wow, that's I don't know. I would have figured they would have been like tighter on that.
Right. Well, yeah, you think like, oh, I'm going to the farmer's market, so everything is going to be like top-notch farm quality, right? But yeah, the prepared foods is a little different.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So they're pretty strict as far as, or I guess this would be my question. Are they strict then with, say Whole Foods, if you're buying eggs there, or like the mushrooms that I get from your stand? Are they pretty strict on, sourcing and all that stuff? Or are they strict on, like, for example, say they have marketed that these are organic, but it turns out they are spraying pesticides. Is that something that at the farmer's market they would find out and crack down on, or no?
As far as pesticides, no, because that's not something the agricultural department is they're not sort of cracking down on that. Like that's not a priority. That's not their priority.
Okay.
They're more just making sure that you're selling what you say your farm grows.
Okay.
But they're not discriminating between organic versus conventional.
Damn, wow, you're blowing my mind. I didn't expect that. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like you think of California and, me coming from an engineering background, California is always, at least the type of engineering that I was doing. If you were an engineer in California, you could be an engineer anywhere because California has the strictest regulations, all the most rules, the most laws, all of that stuff. So it's interesting to hear that because my engineering background is like, thinking they're going to be super tight on all of this stuff and making sure, they're going to be looking for where this is sourced from. Is it true that they're, saying what they're doing? But it seems like it's a little bit more loose than I thought.
As far as if it is certified organic, then they have to grow organically.
And do you happen to know, actually, I'll ask again. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Do you know what does it mean to be organic anymore? Do you happen to know? I have no idea. I know I've heard that's a little bit of a loose term now too, because I've heard that there's pesticides that qualify as organic.
Yeah, right. I'd say probably the only thing that organic is telling you is that they're not using conventional sprays, pesticides and herbicides. As far as I would like to believe that they're not able to use synthetic fertilizers, but I'm not 100% on that. But as far as, say, like strawberries, so there's a lot of strawberry fields in the Oxnard Plains close by. So a farm can grow conventional strawberries right next to an organic strawberry field that they're growing themselves, same farm.
Wow.
And I used to work near farms. So I would see them spray the conventional side, and then right across the dirt road is the organic side. So there's plenty of overspray reaching them.
Wind even?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And then there's also like, I forget the actual amount of time, but there's a certain amount of time when a field can be grown or certified organic. There's a certain time where it can be called grown organically. And then there's a later, I think it's 3 years, that it can be certified organic.
Wow.
So it can be a plot of land could be grown conventionally, and then within 3 years' time is when they deem it able to be called organic soil. Which is it's not a lot of amount of time for certain chemicals to degrade.
That's a good point. Yeah. And now that you say that, I've seen, like, I can see the words where it says grown organically versus certified organic. I know I've seen that term, grown organically. God, dude, it's so tricky because that, you want to think, okay, that means it's organic, but
right.
Wow.
So, the best thing you can do is sort of, ask the questions that you need to know from your farmer. And for me, I kind of judge on quality over somebody's word. So, like, you ask pretty much everyone you ask, they'll tell you there's no pesticides, right? So you kind of go by the quality and the flavor and how you feel afterwards.
Yeah.
And of course, the people you're buying from, see how their character is.
True.
I'd say organic standards in meat is a lot more bothersome. Because it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It just means their feed has been certified organic.
Interesting.
So they could be all the same conventional practices and same sort of feedlot system, but they just feed them some slop that's certified organic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just like, it goes so deep. The things that you have to watch out for, and you know what I mean? Like, why is being healthy so damn hard now?
It is. Yeah.
It's crazy.
A lot of research involved.
Yeah.
To try and get around it. So
it's funny. Recently, I've been taking my health a lot more seriously, and I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking. Jesus, I can't even remember. Almost about a year and a half ago, and I've had a couple drinks since then, and all that did was just make me realize I don't miss drinking at all. So I really don't plan to have any drinks probably ever in my life. Maybe every once in a while I'll have one, but there's no temptation. And another thing I've given up is added sugar, like processed sugar. And it's been really interesting, this journey. And I feel like even just hearing you talk about, the complexities of flavors and stuff like that, I feel like me giving up sugar has changed my palate so much. And it's made me appreciate food so much more now, like fruit, honey.
Oh yeah.
I would take fruit over candy any day.
Definitely.
Like, yeah, that stuff. I've had, ever since giving up processed sugar, I just feel like you can taste the difference in things. And I'm sure there's been a few times where I've had some food or drink or whatever that had some artificial flavoring in it. And I just feel like the times that I've done that, I can tell. Like, you can tell the difference between, something sweetened with,
definitely, yeah,
some type of artificial sweetener, and versus something that's just all natural. And yeah, it's been really interesting. So I'm kind of curious. I'm guessing you're on a similar path. I feel like the way you've been talking about things.
Yeah. Well, with sugar, I was definitely a kid that tried to get as much sugar as he could. And
were you like overweight as a kid, skinny, or in the middle?
I was a pretty skinny kid.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a lot of sugar in my diet growing up, to the point where all my baby teeth had cavities.
Damn.
But as far as what you're saying, like, yeah, it does take a little while for your palate to transition to a more like natural palate. It's around like 2 or 3 weeks though when you start to like really adjust.
Yeah.
I'd say when I was in my late teens when I stopped sugar.
Damn. Wait, how old are you now?
33.
Okay. So wow, damn.
Yeah.
I'm only a year or so into this. You're a few. That's awesome.
I've become a lot more lenient with my diet. So like, I'll partake in like pastries or something once in a while. Usually it's to do with like if somebody wants to give me something they made or something like that.
Can't say no to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's made with love, brother.
Right,
you can't say no to
exactly.
that.
But yeah, that is part of like a white cane sugar. It's just it kind of causes it can cause a yeast overgrowth in your digestive tract, right? And then on top of that, it causes the yeast overgrowth causes toxins that trigger cravings for more sugar. So it's a vicious cycle of a drug addiction, really.
No, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, when I was doing my transition off of sugar, it was about over a year that I stopped, or it wasn't until over a year I stopped craving sugar.
Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty deep.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Again, you have a lot of faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, in what you're doing. I like it.
Yeah. It does require quite a bit of faith, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it works out. It works out, and then
How do you feel that you've changed since giving up sugar, if at all?
changed in which way?
Maybe maybe mentally and then physically as well.
It's been a long time since I've had sort of cravings like that. But I'd say it's more important to feed or nourish your body with the appropriate nutrients to be able to offset that dependency. People get addicted addicted to sugar, and then can cause a blood sugar spike, right? Or a blood sugar roller coaster. And so they can get moody, they can get brain fog, and a whole bunch of different symptoms.
I forget what I even asked. How do you feel that you've changed, whether that's physically or emotionally?
How have I changed? I mean, I feel like I've changed for the better, for sure.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah. How about diet? Because you said you ate a lot of sugar as a kid. How was that? Okay, I guess first of all, what do you mean by that when you ate a lot of sugar?
A lot of candy.
Yeah. Okay. As in you just had it around constantly?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. See, that's interesting because I was the opposite as a kid, where my mom was a dental hygienist and was crazy about our teeth. So, which is ironic because I got so many cavities because I would go to friends' houses. I remember my friend Justin, his mom always had candy out. My mom never had candy. And I go to his house, and first thing, I was like a little junkie, just going straight to the gummy bears and wipe them clean. And all their candy, I would just be the whole time, and I would just binge, Yeah. And so it's interesting, just to have it around all the time. So how do you think that affected you?
Poorly.
Yeah. So I mean, that explains why you have spent so much time working on gut health now, because you spent so many years damaging it that we're making up for it now.
Yeah. As a kid, you don't know any better. You just go by, you might mainly go by your senses, right?
And what's around.
So
you can't just drive and go to the store and get stuff,
Right. Well, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I used to walk to the store quite often and spend a 20 on junk food.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm from Bakersfield, and there's not that many places walking distance. It's very spread out. So it's not really practical you'd have to be walking for at least an hour, if not more, probably to get anywhere, at least where my house was. Yeah. I wasn't that desperate.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that and soda. I'd say soda's...
Was your kryptonite?
I mean, yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with candy. I would say soda is way worse than candy.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they're both pretty neck and neck, but just it's liquid injection of sugar in the...
It's so true. And you can consume a lot of soda too. I mean, I could consume a lot of candy for sure, but soda, I feel like...
At least with candy, you're chewing it, you're kind of going through the digestive mechanics, so you probably won't eat as much sugar as you would drink. But either way, they're equally pretty bad.
Yeah, totally agree. Shoot, there was something I was thinking of and I forgot. Wait, I just want to check one more thing.
No worries.
I'm scared that I didn't press play on one of those, and it's been in the back of my mind, and I need to just get it off my conscience real quick. This, just so it doesn't overheat, I bought a fan. for my camera.
Nice.
All right. Sorry about that. So, my mind is at ease now. Yeah. One thing I just wanted to point out your necklace.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't notice it the first few times that I saw you, but whenever it was that first time that I pointed it out, yeah. So his necklace, if you guys can't see, it's, did you made that, right?
I made it.
Yeah. It's sick. Can you explain what it is?
It's my rooster spurs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so all the roosters I've had over the years. Well, they're not all of the roosters, but majority of them.
Right. That they all came from your roosters.
Yeah.
So did you make the necklace too?
I made it, yeah.
Damn. What do you make any other jewelry or anything like that?
Occasionally.
Okay. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You have to talk to my sister. She makes jewelry too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, that was her whole business.
Really?
For a long time. Yeah. Was jewelry.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. But that's cool that you do that.
This concept actually started with a friend gave me a shark tooth necklace.
Mm.
And then I had three rooster spurs, and I was like, oh, those might suit me better than a shark tooth.
Yeah, that would be a hard thing to throw away because it's so cool, and so unique.
Yeah.
So does each rooster have one on each?
One on each heel,
and
yeah.
it's on the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it started with 3, and then it grew to, I think it's 8.
Dude,
10.
that's sick. So cool. Yeah. So what other stuff have you made?
I've made a few woven bracelets.
Okay.
Back in my younger years. What have I made? I mean, yeah, jewelry. I'm not too big on too much jewelry. But I like to. I think it's more special when you make it yourself. Or
I agree. I couldn't agree more because that's the whole reason I've gotten into woodworking.
Yeah.
I actually had my sister teach me how to sew or hem,
nice.
I guess. I want to get more into that because I want to start kind of modifying my own clothes to make them fit better.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm all for. That's why I love when I saw you were making sauerkraut. Anything that's handmade, and obviously it's better if you can make it yourself.
Yeah.
But if I know the person that made it, like to me that's so special. Like versus buying that shit in the store. You know what I mean? Like I would buy that from you 100% of the time over buying it in a grocery store. So
Appreciate it.
I'm totally with that. Yeah. Anything handmade by people, I'm all in.
Excellent. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I come from a family where they work on their own things a lot.
You say they did?
They work on their own things a lot. Like, yeah, so mechanical work or handyman work around the house or whatever task that needs to be done, we'll try and approach it ourselves first.
Dude, that's me. That makes sense because you said you redid the plumbing at your house. Dude,
Right.
that's crazy. How did you learn how to do that?
Well,
YouTube. You can admit it.
mostly YouTube, right? But there's a foundation there, though. I used to be a water well pump mechanic,
Okay.
so that would be the agricultural side of things that I was mentioning. Like I would be working out by farms, so I'd be working out on the wells that were supplying the farms.
Okay.
And that has a lot to do with like working on your own equipment and making things up like fittings and water lines and all that.
Problem solving.
Problem solving, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I'm kind of experiencing that right now. My sister bought some bar stools and just not thinking, she just bought them, and we bring them home and we go to set them under the bar and they're too tall. You can't sit in them because they're at the level of the bar.
Yep.
And so we didn't realize this until she bought them. We're at home, and she bought them from an antique store. You can't just return those.
Right.
That's it's final sale. So, I'm getting into woodworking, and so I was like, well, they're wooden legs. Like, let me try making some new ones, because the way that the bar stool is set up, unfortunately, I couldn't just cut the bottom.
Yeah.
So I'm just remaking them with different proportions. And
Nice.
it's just problem solving. It's kind of crazy because I'm limited on tools because I don't have a wood shop and unlimited money, unfortunately.
Right.
But just having to figure out like how to make certain cuts, how to make drill certain holes and make sure that things line up right. So there's a certain level of that comes with the experience that me coming from an engineering background, you don't learn that type of stuff. You don't learn the hands-on stuff. You just learn the theoretical. You learn the equations.
Yeah.
And even when I was an engineer, if you would have taken me out into a shop and looked at something and you're like, hey, point out the I don't know, compressor, I wouldn't have been like, I don't know. I could draw a little sketch of what my teacher showed me, but I don't know what a compressor looks like. And I feel like there's a big disconnect between like education, like formal education like that, and the real world experience.
For sure.
Yeah. So it gets me wondering, what is your background? Did you go to college, or, what did you do until this time? How'd you get here?
Well, I was homeschooled as a child.
Really? Okay. Okay.
The entirety of it.
Damn. So starting from what age? Like, just, I'm sure as far as you could remember, but.
Yeah. I mean, probably at 6. It's about the time you start, right? I went to preschool,
right.
which was more like a daycare.
Okay.
But, all school's kind of a daycare, right?
Pretty much. Literally.
Yeah. It was interesting. It really depends on the teacher or what kind of classes you go to. Because, you do still typically have to be a part of organization.
So you're saying to be homeschooled?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they do offer like classes and field trips and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, get-togethers.
Yeah.
But after that, I started working for my family with the pump business when I was 19. Did that for 4 years. And then I stopped doing that around 24. Then I started working at farmers markets. I started selling grass-fed meat.
Okay.
I started with beef, and then I went to another company that was selling beef, pork, lamb, chicken, eggs. I was doing that. And then I got into the produce that I work for now, and then the mushrooms as well.
Okay.
Other education, I have a certificate as a nutritional therapy practitioner.
Okay.
That took about a year.
And so what exactly is that? Nutritional therapy.
It's a consultant.
Okay.
It's whatever you want it to be. They're pretty broad on. It's an online certificate.
Okay.
It was a pretty intensive course though. I think 50% made it through. It was I started it during COVID, or I started it right before COVID, so it was in between all of that.
Okay.
Somebody that can help people with nutritional advice, really.
So I'm guessing you probably couldn't give specifics or make meal plans then?
You can.
Oh, you can? Okay. I guess I don't understand that world too much.
Yeah. Yeah. The dietitian is the one that's sort of in the medical field.
Okay.
as far as I don't actually know what they can do that a nutritionalist can't. Haven't really looked into a dietitian too much. So,
Do you do anything with that certification?
no,
No. Do you want to?
possibly.
Okay. What would you want to do?
Consulting and but maybe more hands-on. So like that's kind of why I have been bulking up with the sauerkraut, is to kind of try and give a physical product to people that can benefit from, health.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool because I feel like gut health and stuff is not talked about enough and it's not taken seriously enough, I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, that's something it's born from passion. Personally, I'm not one too keen on school.
I'm there now.
And just being homeschooled, it didn't quite well, anyways.
I feel like that's so interesting because if you're homeschooled, I feel like your life potentially could be so different in that school, because, okay, I went to engineering school. I did all of that. Looking back, like one day if I have kids, I would not pressure them to go to school. I wouldn't want them to go to traditional schools. Like I just see it as training. Like they're just programming you to be a little worker that takes orders from someone else. And so that's why, yeah, it's so interesting to me that you're homeschooled, because I feel like you have the potential to not be programmed like that.
You're right. And a lot of people are that way, even if they go to school. I feel like there's kind of a I don't want to call it a narcissistic thing, but it is. I think there's value in learning how to follow orders, because then you're able to also understand the orders that you might give to someone else.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Homeschooling is it could be different it's very individualized, right? So it really depends on the attention that you're given as a kid. As far as public school, since I didn't have that experience, I'm not gonna say that it's right or wrong. As far as, say, like if I was to send a child in my future, I'd say it might be as beneficial as anything else that you might put them in. It just might be a good thing for, well, the most important thing that I missed out on is the social exposure, right? So I think social exposure is probably the most important thing for somebody to learn, or get experience with and learn from their experiences. And I think public school is very good for that. Whether their education is great or not, probably not the best.
Yeah.
But I think the social exposure is invaluable. Now, of course, if you can give your kid the attention, enough attention for homeschooling, and you give them good social exposure, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
Yeah. I think that's probably the route I would go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I don't know. I think it's my experience is a little bit different because I spent a lot of time in a cubicle under fluorescent lights,
Yeah.
absolutely miserable, and just staring out the windows. Like on a day like this where it's nice and sunny, just looking out the windows and just dreaming that I wish I could be out there. Like what I would do right now to just go outside and lay down on the concrete and just soak up the sun. Like the amount of time that I spent just sitting there staring out is like a lot. It was a lot. So for me, I definitely have a lot of feelings towards that type of system that is just training us to, you know, like especially kids. Like kids, they have energy. They have things that they want to do. Like they need to get stuff out of their system and do stuff. You have to. The best way to learn, I feel like, is through action and doing things and playing and making mistakes and falling and hurting yourself. And you just don't get enough of that. Like when I was in school, we had recess. It's my favorite part of the day. And I have no idea how long they were. I can't imagine they're, more than 30 minutes or an hour. Hour probably was at most.
Yeah.
And, what is that? Like an hour and a half, 2 hours a day that you're getting to play as a kid? Like that's not enough. And I don't know. So that's why I have a lot of opinions on that type of system. I get what you're saying. The social aspect of it is like, I had a lot of great friends, a lot of great memories and stuff. But personally, I just feel that I'm now at the point where I'm trying to deprogram myself from all of that. And, listening to you talk, you're very calm. I feel like you're very confident. And I feel like I can see how that changed you because my upbringing was very anxious, like lots of anxiety. And I feel like the whole corporate system, I feel like it not only fosters anxiety, but it actually feeds off of anxiety. Everything is fear-based. Even just your retirement plan is like, you got to save up so you have enough money so that way once you retire you can live all right, and everything's like trying to get my retirement going and saving and all this stuff, and you're never living. You're just spending 5 out of the 7 days of the week just dreaming about the other 2, and then the other 2 you're living up so much that you're dead by the time you get back to Monday. And then you're just it's such a vicious cycle. And I feel like for me, the deprogramming that I'm having to do is getting rid of, or at least overcoming anxiety, which has been a really big thing in my life. And I've been spending, the last really year, but I mean, kind of 2 years, I guess, really focusing on that. And there's a lot of things that play into it. But I feel like that whole system, maybe it's just because it wasn't right for me, but maybe that's not everybody's experience. But I just feel like that whole system, all it did for me was just make me scared and anxious of everything, of life, of living. And so that's kind of why that's kind of my take on like the schooling system. I feel like all it's doing is just wearing you down and turning you into a cog at the end of it. Personally.
Yeah, that's a good take.
That's just my experience. Yours is very different though, because I feel like, coming from a mechanic, you're probably spending a lot of time outside.
Yeah.
Doing stuff with your hands, problem solving, thinking. It's hilarious to me when people say that, like my dad used to always say this, engineering school, it teaches you how to think. And when I look back onto it, maybe this was just my experience, but I don't feel that at all. I feel like all it did was just train you to take orders. That's personally what I think. Like, I don't think engineering taught me how to think at all. I think it actually taught me how to shut my brain off and just memorize things and, try to, So I feel like I haven't ever been as much of a free thinker as I am now, once I quit engineering.
Yeah.
And, obviously we have 2 very different life paths and, origin stories, if you want to call it. But, it's really interesting. That's why, I like talking with people like this, because this is so cool. Like I don't know. And which got me thinking too, what made you want to get out of your family's business?
The work environment was a little different than what I wanted.
Was it working directly with your family?
Yeah, which was a great experience.
Okay.
They had a lot to teach me and very valuable lessons. Well, the main reason was after 2 years of working, I had a hernia incident. So I had an inguinal hernia that emerged. So how old was I? Maybe like 20. I was about to turn 22.
Okay.
So I was working every day, 5 to 6 days a week. Very hard labor.
I would imagine.
So I didn't quite understand and this was like 2 years into my health journey, just trying to learn as much as I can and trying to incorporate and experiment with different foods and all that. So I was pretty I was on the right track with health and sort of a holistic approach to things and trying to work in exercise and different modalities to strengthen my body. So I got a hernia, and then I didn't really know what to do. And everyone else around me had hernias too, so they didn't think much of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just figure it out myself. And so I ended up getting trying a different few hernia supports, and I worked for 2 years with a hernia.
Damn.
And then I really tried to dial in on my exercise to try and strengthen my core and deal with some muscular imbalances. So for 2 years, I dealt with that. And of course, I couldn't fix everything. So I also acquired some more muscular imbalances due to the hernia and all that.
Damn.
So
Vicious cycle.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I finally got surgery and had that repaired. So then I took about 3 weeks or 3 months off of work entirely to try and mend that, and it was very successful. So that was
So that was
10 years ago.
That was at 22, you said, right?
Yeah.
And then you still worked there until you were 24 or so?
Yeah.
You said about 4 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did it go after that?
So I quit. I quit my job and allowed myself to heal a bit. It wasn't until, they say, oh, you don't have to, or don't lift anything for a month and then you'll be good after that. Well, the scar tissue doesn't heal for like over a year.
Yeah.
After that. And I was still feeling discomfort for about 3 years.
Damn.
A little over 3 years.
Damn.
And which wasn't a big deal. I was lifting my normal amounts and all that. But I was very cautious because I didn't want to deal with it again and then spend,
Totally. Surgery's
thousands
not
of
cheap.
dollars for another surgery, right?
Yeah.
So that was a big journey. But just working for 2 years with it was very substantial with learning. I learned a lot. What did that stem from?
I was just asking you why you ended up quitting that job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had different ideas for myself. I didn't feel like I feel like there's more growth outside my family. That's about it.
Okay. Wait, do you have siblings?
I do. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Wow. Where do you fall in the lineup?
I'm number 4.
Okay.
And then, so there's a 19 gap from the first to the last.
Damn.
Yeah.
So are any of your siblings still working for the company, or do they?
No. It was actually my brother's company. It was, and my dad was helping him. But the company was derived from my grandfather's company that they had to shut down for legal purposes. So then my brother opened it up. I think he was like 30. He's probably my age now. So it was just the 3 of us most of the time. And then later on we had some hired help, but I was there every day.
Yeah. I mean, small business, like,
Yeah.
If you're not working, nothing's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my brother got kind of burnt out, and he had other ideas he wanted to do.
Okay.
So he's a car mechanic now.
Okay. Didn't go too far.
No. Yeah. We would have to work on the vehicles that we had all the time, so.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys seem like you're very, like you were saying, hands-on, fixing things.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So one other thing I'm just curious about, what are some other things that you would say you're passionate about, or maybe are your interests at this time?
Well, we got health, nutrition, cooking, gardening, exercise. Anything that has something to do with vitality, I guess. Vitality and interconnections with the world.
Are you religious at all?
Not practicing.
Okay.
I was sort of raised as a Christian, but nothing too heavy. Went to church up until like 6 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was, again, a little different. I was raised as Christian as well, but I was put into private Christian school, kindergarten through 8th grade. Yeah. So it was like, chapel every Thursday, church on Sundays, but I'm the opposite now. I'm similar to you. I'm not practicing. I don't fully believe in that anymore. I have a very different viewpoint on, spirituality and life and death and whatnot. And, so, I get it. I don't really practice that.
I think there's a lot of good values. I think there's, just like with anything, there's people that try and take advantage of others in certain organizations. So as far as believing anything in something, I feel like our generation, it was like, as a kid, it's kind of like, if you were to say you believed in a god or whatever religious entity that your parents sort of instilled in you, it's almost like, we thought it was better to rebel against that because it made us sort of, myself as a child, I might have thought of myself as more intelligent by saying, no, there isn't a God.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays, I kind of feel like, is there any reason for me not to believe in a higher power? What do I gain from not believing? Maybe I'm actually resisting and causing more pain for myself.
It's very possible.
But yeah, there's a lot of good values in the Bible that I like.
Totally. Yeah. Kind of, I would say my take on it is I think, yeah, I would agree with you. I think there are good values in the Bible, but personally, I think where people go wrong is they take the Bible literally. And that's where, that's where you kind of lose me because, first of all, the Bible wasn't written in English. So
Right.
it had to be translated. And I don't know about you, but if you...
More than once.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. So if you've ever learned a different language or anything, things don't always translate literally,
right.
And sometimes people will have their own kind of interpretation on what they think this means.
For sure.
And so it's like, okay, you're telling me this was written in a different language and then someone had to translate it. And even if if you're a Christian, they'll all say, humans are very flawed. We're not perfect. So that translation ain't going to be perfect. Okay. So now you're wholeheartedly believing this thing word for word that it's fact when it's been written by people who are flawed and it's been translated, which is inherently going to have some flaws in it as well. So that's where they lose me with it. But I totally agree that I think the Bible and probably all of the major, whatever you want to call them, holy books or whatever, I feel like they have a lot of good lessons in them. And I think that's how, as human beings, I feel like that's how we teach is through stories and through, like Jesus taught with parables. That's the best way we learn is by hearing stories. That's how we learn lessons. So to me, it makes the most sense that like the Bible and those books, they're all stories that have stood the test of time, and those lessons in there I feel like are valuable. But yeah, I don't think when people start taking it very literally, that's where I'm kind of like, yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, that's where
it's good food for thought.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting journey with religion for me. Just going from someone who was fully in that system 24/7. I mean, literally we had a subject in school that was Bible, and we had to memorize, Bible verses or the books of the Bible, the orders, like what they were about, all this stuff, literally just memorizing it. And like, I don't remember any of that. I didn't actually learn anything. So it's definitely been, I'd say another way that I've been having to deprogram myself, because I feel like personally, that was another point in which fear was used to try to get people to do stuff. Like there's the threat of hell and sin and everything is I feel like I was so scared of dying when I was a Christian. Like when I was a practicing Christian, I was terrified of death. And now I'm at the point where, I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, we all have to go through it. So, who knows how many billions of people before us have done it. So we're all going to have to do it, and that's okay. It's a human experience, and it is what it is. You can't avoid it. So I just embrace it. Even I feel like it's even changed my viewpoint on aging. And so I find it so interesting when, people get all these surgeries and whatnot to look younger, and I feel like they never turn out great. You know what I mean? They never, that's a mental health issue, I feel. But I feel like aging is a beautiful thing because even, for example, just seeing my mom and her hair is starting to turn gray, and it looks great. Like she looks great with it. She's rocking it. And it's like aging doesn't have to be this scary thing. You know what I mean? Like we're all doing it. Just take care of yourself and age gracefully. And you know what? If the grays start coming, I've already got some, and it's like,
right. Yeah.
It is what it is. I can't do anything about it other than just try to be as healthy as I possibly can. And you know what? Maybe there are some holistic remedies to, I'm sure maybe the gray hair means something. Maybe there's some type of deficiency. Who knows? But maybe I'll stumble across that someday. But like, you know what? I'm just embracing it. Like I'm 31. Yeah, I'm aging. We're all gonna age. You know, some people get great. Some people lose their hair. I'm just grateful that's not happening to me.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's completely just changed my perception on things, and I'm just less scared now. I feel like when I was religious, I was just so scared of everything. I feel like I need to ask more people about this, because I don't know if that was just my experience and how my brain works, you know, or if that was other people's experience too, if that was like actually what they were teaching, or if maybe that's just what I took away from it. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's kind of weird that I've gotten so much more relaxed since leaving organized religion. I feel like a lot of people you hear, they're like, they found religion and they're like, yeah, I'm saved, you know, which I feel like I've been the opposite. I like broke free and now I'm like, yeah, I'm saved. It's weird.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks, as they say.
Totally. Yeah.
So how long ago was that sort of realization of your just experience with thinking of death?
As far as religion goes, like separation from religion, or more coming to terms with death?
Both. Let's start with the religion.
So religion, this is the kind of hard part, because I don't know if I could give you a specific timeline, but I feel like deep down when I was a kid, I never fully agreed with it. There was always something that bothered me about it. I don't know exactly what, but I feel like I was kind of forced into that. And also I was told not to question, like we were always told that, you know, the Bible's right, Jesus is God, and all the other religions are wrong. Don't look at them. They're wrong. And here's why they're wrong. And you don't go read that book. Like they're wrong. And I just feel like such a horrible approach, because I feel like that right there is just proof showing that you know you're wrong, because you're saying like, oh, no, don't look anywhere else, like we're the only one that's right, don't look at them. So
not a good look.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it never really sat well with me. So I would say probably in high school is when I kind of started falling off, and then I would say I kind of just stayed the same until college, and then really not until maybe the last, maybe like 6 years or so, maybe a little before COVID, was when I kind of started actually thinking about it more, and coming up with my own kind of values and beliefs for myself that were not based in religion. And then as far as death goes, honestly, I think there were two big points for me, because I was in a relationship for 5 years, from the time I was 22 to 27, and it was, I was just not happy in the relationship, and I would say that was a time I thought a lot. I had a lot of fears around death, and so that getting out of that relationship changed my perspective a lot on things and just becoming happier. And I would say also getting out of engineering, I feel like those were two really big things for me, where I experienced breaking out of something that I felt so trapped in, and became more free after, and became a lot happier. So I feel like, so we broke up when I was 27, and then I worked as an engineer until I was 29. So about 2 more years after that. So that was a very big period of a lot of change for me. I mean, as well as even, you know, the last 2 years since then. But yeah, I would say getting out of that relationship started it, and then breaking free from engineering is what really, I feel like it allowed me to kind of loosen up a bit and actually find some happiness for once in my life, and just embrace things. Like I feel like I have so much more gratitude now for life, for people, for things in my life, for everything. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, just getting out of the corporate system is really what helped me just have so much more appreciation for everything, because I was living in so much fear that whole time and just always in some state of really bad anxiety. And now that I'm out of that, it's, yeah, I don't know. I've just changed so much and have become so much happier. And, it's not like I'm ready to die or anything, but, obviously I don't want to. That's why I try so hard to be healthy. But I just don't fear it so much anymore.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been a journey for sure. And, I definitely have a lot of time to think about things now. And I don't know if I've shared this with you, but kind of what started this podcast for me was, so music was a really, really big thing in my life. It still is. Like, I even got a tattoo of a little music symbol just to, because it's been such a big thing in my life. And I don't play music. That's going to be another journey for me, actually, that I haven't added it to my plate yet, but I want to start learning piano.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I feel like music is going to have a big place in my life. Not that I'm going to be some big artist or anything, but I think it'll just be important for me in my development. But yeah, so I used to listen to music all the time. I mean, a lot. I would have music on all the time. And if it wasn't music, it was a podcast or it was an audiobook. And I was just constantly having some type of stimulation in my brain, just always. And that's another point of anxiety, like your brain never getting to rest, just constant either information or beats going into my brain. And I never got a chance to, or I never gave myself a chance to let my brain just exist and think for itself, not have something else controlling it or like trying to make me feel a certain way or think something. And yeah, so it was December 23rd of last year. I go to one of my physical therapist and friend. She owns a wellness clinic over in is it Thousand Oaks or Westlake? I don't know. I mix them up. Somewhere. Yeah, so they're right next to each other. Yeah. But it's called Vitality Village, and she has it's called a PEMF mat. I'm not sure if you don't know what that is. Sounds familiar. You lay down on it, and it sends electrical signals, and it's supposed to be a form of healing, and I really like it. At the very least, it's an hour where I sit and have no distractions, and it probably is similar to a massage. So I do that for an hour, and then after that I go into contrast therapy. So I do sauna for about 25 minutes and then cold plunge for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And normally I would be listening to a podcast or music when I was sitting on the PMF mat for an hour. And on that day, December 23rd, I for some reason didn't. I didn't play any music, and I just sat there in silence. And when you're on that mat, because it's electrical, you can't have your phone or electronics. I guess what they tell me is that it just drains the battery. It's really bad for your electronics. So you can't have a mat on the phone. Like, you just don't want to do it. Yeah. And so I was sitting there on the mat, and my mind is just racing, and I'm having all of these really interesting, like, motivating thoughts, and just thinking about just like, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but I kept having to get up off the mat because I didn't want to lose these thoughts. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I would get up off the mat, and I would grab my phone and write it in a note. Yeah, in the notes. And then I'd set my phone down and go sit down on the mat, and my brain's just going 100 miles an hour, like, but good thoughts, Yeah. And I was like, I just kept having to get up. I was like, damn it, I don't want to lose these, And then eventually I went into the sauna, and normally I would, like, have my phone in there and be listening to music, but again, I didn't. And again, I'm having to get out and write, and I still have the note in my phone. It's like, you have to scroll because I was writing so much. And I just got thinking, like, damn, like, I'm having a really interesting moment right now. Like, what is going on? And I realized it was because I wasn't having that stimulation coming in of the music or podcast or anything. And I was just sitting there with my thoughts, and I was actually thinking for once. And so, yeah, I just realized from then on, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just habitually listen to stuff anymore. Like, yeah, I realized how it was not serving me. And I just felt like, so this is how I feel. I feel like we are all connected in some way, shape, or form.
For sure.
Like, that's how I feel personally, to the earth, to each other, to everything. I feel like we're all connected in some way. And I feel like having that constant stimulation, I just felt like I was imagining myself as like with an antenna coming out of my head, and that's what's connecting me to the universe. And I felt like all I was doing was just putting a shield over that antenna and blocking it by having something else controlling my mind, instead of letting my mind actually do, my brain do its own thing and be connected itself. And I was basically, I feel like, just hijacking my attention. And so, yeah, I made the decision that I'm not going to just habitually listen anymore. And through that, I realized I had a music addiction. And it sounds kind of crazy if I were to just, like, I'll tell people like, oh yeah, I don't really listen to music anymore. I mean, I still do sometimes, but little bits here and there. But yeah, it's not such a thing in my life anymore. And yeah, my life has gotten significantly better since then. I've become more confident. I've become more productive, become happier, less anxious, everything. And I was driving down to San Diego for my friend's birthday, his 30th birthday earlier this year. And my buddy Bryce was with me, and he's, I had been telling him about this journey with music and everything, and because we go to music festivals together, and I had been telling him about this journey, and he was with me in the car when we were driving to San Diego, and it was nearly a 3-hour drive. And he, I was going to oblige and let him play music. I could still go with the flow,
Right.
Not like some junkie. Like, no, I can't listen to music. I'm gonna fall back. So I was gonna let him play music, and then a few minutes in, I think he played one song, and he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn the music off. He's like, I kind of like your idea of turning music off, like not listening to music. And one last thing I forgot, actually, I started this challenge on Instagram. It's called the raw dogging challenge, and it sounds wild, but that's the reason why it's going to sound bad until you hear the full thing. So that's the reason I got these chairs. So I could raw dog in my room. And so what it is basically you're just sitting there in the chair, and I have no music, no phone, I don't have a TV, I don't really watch TV anymore, but nothing. And I'm just sitting here for an hour, and like no talking. Yeah. And it's pretty wild, the changes that you can.
I can imagine.
For an hour, you learn a lot about yourself. And I've kind of fallen off with the practice, but I got back into it for a little bit. I would like to get back into it someday, but it is a time commitment, a little bit, an hour of doing absolutely nothing all day. For that hour, but
it's a form of meditation.
Totally. Yeah, it's getting there for sure. But yeah, so I started doing the raw dogging, and then that was right. So right after that is when I had this realization about the music, and then started giving it up. So like those two things in combination were huge for me. And so when we were driving down to San Diego, Bryce, he had been following this and been knowing what's going on. So he said, you know what, let's not listen to music. And we had a really amazing, damn near 3-hour conversation in the car ride. And it was awesome. And through that conversation, because I had this podcasting equipment for probably over a year since then, and had not recorded or done anything. It just was sitting, and it kind of just haunting me. Because I knew I wanted to have a podcast eventually. Just I never had the push, or never had I felt like I needed to have it all lined up, and this is what I'm going to talk about. But
Gotcha.
that's just my own judgments. But yeah, so he not pressured me. He just kind of gave me that push that I needed to start the podcast, and he helped me with the name. I said something about, oh yeah, I don't know, unplugging. I said the word unplugging, and he goes, "That's the name of your podcast right there," and that's what it is now. And I love it. It's perfect.
Good name.
Yeah. So that was just kind of how this got started, and it was just through me not even realizing that I was doing things to overcome my anxiety that I didn't even know that I needed. So like giving up the music, raw dogging, was just so important for me to realizing how to quiet my mind.
Yeah.
So
You just got to raw dog it.
dude, raw dogging will change your life. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, that's kind of just how this all got started. And, I forget how we got there, but,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what kind of music?
Oh, dude. I listen to a lot of stuff, but lots of EDM, like dubstep. I'll listen to some house. I don't care for house shows. They're boring to me. It all sounds the same, but I could listen to house music in headphones. But yeah, I mean, I listen to everything: rap, rock, pop. I mean, obviously not as much anymore. Very, rare occasions, I guess. But, yeah, I like pretty much everything except for country. I used to kind of hate country because I got it forced on me in high school.
Okay.
When I wrestled, that's all they would listen to in practice was
Really?
country music, and I just got so sick of it. I could tolerate it now. It's okay. Like I wouldn't really willingly put any on, but
Right.
I'm not gonna have a horrible time if you're playing country music. Yeah. What about you? What do you listen to?
Mostly metal.
I see that for you. Hell yeah. Like who?
Well, I mean,
Lewis says hi.
Louis, yeah. It's a nice cat.
Yeah, she's funny.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Metallica.
Okay.
That's what my brother would listen to a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Slipknot lately.
Okay.
I'll listen to acoustic. I'll listen to certain pop. Some rap, but whatever sounds good, to be honest.
Yeah. How do you explain your taste? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Yeah, I like electric distortion, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play any music or anything?
I don't.
No. Okay.
No, I picked up a guitar for a few months and then set it down.
Yeah.
So breakup thing.
Hey, you got to experiment. You know what I mean? You gotta learn stuff about yourself.
No, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoy working my hands, so music's cool. Yeah, my ex, I bought the guitar from my ex. It was a few months before we broke up, so I had to sell it.
Yeah. You don't want all that baggage with it,
No,
you know? Every time you look at it, probably reminding you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah, no, music's great. It's really enriches your life.
It can.
As far as like playing it, it's really good.
Oh, for sure.
Listening to it's great, but
It's just
there's
moderation.
There's phases of life, so you can't just go full force the whole time. You gotta have some silence and intervals there.
Totally. Do you do anything like that? Do you have any type of practice or meditation practice or anything?
I go on and off, so like, it's interesting hearing your side of things, right? So like you're saying you're like constantly working and overstimulating yourself to be able to just, I don't want to say cope, but like
in a way,
just kind of like match the frequency, right, that you're in.
I felt like for me it was an emotional crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which everyone's got their vice for something they don't feel right about.
Yeah.
Say like I've gone through periods of where I listen to a lot of things, say like music or podcasts or audiobooks. and then I'll just be driving in silence for like an hour or longer, and thinking. I think I'm really good at overthinking. So, being homeschooled and being alone often, I had plenty of time to talk to myself, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good skill though, to be able to be alone and be comfortable, or even be comfortable in silence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice to talk to somebody who has a different experience with that, because then it gives me a better perspective of my own experience. Yeah, I go through phases where I try and have a lot of input, and phases where I don't. So right now, I feel like for me, I got I signed up for Instagram for the purpose of like connecting with people for business. Haven't done any of that. It's been like 3 years, and I've just used it for scrolling now.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, and it's right, it's a dopamine thing, right? So now I use music to try and get myself to concentrate. It keeps me on track.
Yeah.
So like I have to go do chores or a task or something. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put music on because
it makes it more enjoyable.
It does make it more enjoyable, but like if I'm like trying to take a break to scroll to try and send something to a friend or something like that, it just breaks concentration completely.
Yeah.
And so I'm using music as sort of a crutch to ignore scrolling.
That's good though.
And for a long time in my early 20s, I didn't mess with social media. Because I was pretty much chronically online in my teens, being homeschooled and just at home all the time.
Doing what? Gaming or?
Oh
yeah. What would you play?
World of Warcraft.
Oh, dude, Blake plays. My buddy Bryce plays. They still play. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh no.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No. So where was I?
So you said you were chronically online.
Oh. Yeah, so I didn't mess with computers for a little while in my early 20s. And I was working all the time anyway, so it worked out. But yeah, social media. Yeah, I didn't mess with it too much. And turns out I wasn't missing out.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
It's ropes you in. It gives you a little bit of dopamine tickle.
Well, I think definitely it was good that you didn't get into it in your early 20s. You know, you got through all of those formidable years, and now that you're more mature, you have a better grasp of yourself and everything.
Better foundation.
But you're already more conscious of your use, and you're using music to not, because you don't want to be on social media, mindlessly scrolling. So like, I feel like in, early 20s, I definitely wouldn't have had that type of mindfulness. So, you know what I mean? I think it was a good thing.
Yeah.
But, why don't you use it? Like maybe you should try to make the promise to not scroll, but you can go on social media to post.
Right.
The old posting ghost.
Yeah. No, just like with anything, it's more to do with the commitment than the actions. And just have to find the right way to make the commitment, I guess.
Yeah, especially for your business. If you're trying to grow this, selling stuff, it's perfect for it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tool. You don't have to use it. You can if you want to, but it's definitely a tool that could work out great for you. I'm also biased because I do social media full time. So
no, I understand the power of it. It's just harnessing it.
Totally. I mean, same with our brains. You know, our brains are extremely powerful, but
Exactly.
we gotta harness them in the right
Yep.
way, or else they don't serve us very well.
No.
Which I've learned personally.
Yeah, I think everyone experiences some form for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I say we wrap this up. Dude, I want to say this has been the longest podcast I've ever done. God damn.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, good. No, I've been enjoying it. Like it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Right? It's a
I
good
didn't.
time.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Um. Damn. Wow. We made it happen.
Oh yeah.
Dude, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for agreeing to do this.
Yeah,
Hopefully it wasn't.
Thanks for having me. Thinking of me.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, anytime if you ever want to come back, you know, you're more than welcome. Yeah. Okay. I'll end you with one question. I forgot to ask my last guest, but so you know, it's called Unplugging is the podcast, right? And
Yeah.
I like to think of it as, you know, I feel like most people would think of like unplugging from society, but I'm not that extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I think of unplugging as, like, for me, this journey has been just being conscious of the things that are holding me back and releasing them and trying to get them out of my life. For example, like, you know, the constant music addiction or like podcasts, all that. Like, I didn't realize how those were affecting me. And to me, you know, unplugging is kind of just becoming aware and trying to better myself. So, I guess what would be something that you would recommend that people should kind of unplug from in their lives to help better themselves? It could be even something that was important for you, that's helped you grow, or some realization you've had.
Stop watching the news.
Oh, yes. That's a big one. Why do you say that?
Because they...
You're not the first person to say that either.
Really?
So yeah. You're in the right place.
It just causes... it can cause a lot of anxiety for things that that you can't have any control over or even concern you as far as your life. Like it can just infect you with anxiety.
Yeah, it's their goal.
And and their goal is to sell fear.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I love that you said that, because it's funny. I edit videos. I film and edit videos for a living.
Yeah.
The news is just fucking edited videos.
Right.
So they can pick and choose what they want to show you.
Oh yeah.
You know, they can, and you can chop a video up to make it look one way, or you can have it look a different way depending what you cut out of there, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, it's wild to me, because I feel like the generations before us were very, very reliant on the news. Like,
Oh yeah.
all in. News is fact, you know? Like, that's what they thought. And it could not be more opposite in my mind. I feel like none of it's truth.
Right. Yeah. Mainstream media. It's hard to take in nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like hopefully there's a big shift coming and people having that realization as well and getting out of it.
I think it's starting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Cool. Well, Cole Withington. Withington. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Like, whether, I know you said you don't really use your social media much, but you're welcome to. I could put it in the descriptions and tag it as well. If there's any website, business, anything you want to plug, now's the time. It's all good if you don't.
Not right now, no.
Okay, no worries. Yeah,
But I appreciate
and if that changes, you can always just text me, and
Yeah.
I can put links or whatever in the description.
For sure.
So cool. Well, appreciate you coming in.
All right, Nick, appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys for listening or watching. If you did, This is Unplugging Podcast, episode number 9, and we are out.